It's 11 p.m., and you're eating your third donut. You didn't even taste the first two. Now comes the guilt. The oldest ritual in modern life. Diet starts Monday, you whisper. You've whispered it before, but here's the strange part. Your brain isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. That sugar rush just fired the same circuit that once saved your ancestors from a saber-toothed tiger. Same chemical, same panic, same reward. One system, tuned for a world that no longer exists. So why is your own brain trying to kill you with diabetes? Let's go back 100,000 years to find out. Welcome to 2026. Sugar is no longer a treat. It's the default. It hides in 70% of packaged food in this country. Bread, pasta sauce, even healthy salad dressing. On average, Americans eat 60 to 70 pounds of sugar a year. That's about a cube of sugar every 20 minutes. All day, every day. Every bite lights up the same reward circuit. Dopamine floods in. For a moment, everything feels perfect, but that flood doesn't last. Insulin rushes in to clean up the mess. Blood sugar crashes. And so do you. 20 minutes of high, 2 hours of fog. Then the craving comes back, louder than before. This isn't a willpower problem. It's a 100,000-year-old survival machine doing exactly its job. To understand it, we need to meet the machine's original owner, someone who never saw a candy bar in his entire life, but who carried the exact same brain you have right now. Same wiring, completely different world. A world with almost no sugar at all. Let's step into it. 100,000 years ago, the Pleistocene, an ice age that lasted over 2 million years. Average temperature? Brutally cold most of the year. Food wasn't a menu. It was a full-time job. Every single day began with the same question. Where's the next meal? There was no fridge, no pantry, no leftover. Just what you could find, hunt, or dig up today. The diet itself was rough. Tough roots that took forever to chew. Lean, stringy meat when a hunt actually succeeded. Fibrous leaves and bitter greens most days. No bread, no pasta, no cereal aisle. And absolutely no chocolate bars growing on trees. Calories were scarce, and scarcity was the whole game. Every extra calorie mattered, every single one, because winter was always coming. And it did not negotiate. Fat stored today could mean survival in 6 weeks. There was no gym, no calorie counting app, just one biological rule. Eat when you can, however much you can. This wasn't greed, it was math. The math of a species that starved far more often than it feasted. So when something sweet did appear, it wasn't just food. It was the biggest calorie jackpot of the entire season. Ripe fruit, wild honey, both incredibly rare. Rare enough that most days, most years, he'd never find either. So when sugar finally showed up, his brain did something it had never done for a root or a leaf. It screamed. And that scream is where our real story begins. There it is, a wild beehive wedged in the fork of a tree. Bees are guarding gold, and they know it. But hunger makes bad odds look like good ones. He smokes them out, climbs anyway. A few stings are nothing compared to what's inside. And then, contact. Thick, golden, dripping wild honey. The single sweetest thing he has ever tasted in his life. And his brain does not say, pace yourself. It screams one word over and over. More. He eats. Fast. With both hands. He doesn't save a single drop for tomorrow. And here's the part that feels wrong, but isn't. That greed? Evolution built it on purpose. Because out here, tomorrow is never guaranteed. Every calorie eaten now becomes fat stored for later. And fat out here is not vanity. It's a fuel tank. A fuel tank that might be the only thing between him and starvation. So evolution wrote a brutal, simple rule. Find something sweet, eat all of it. Right now. Now picture a different ancestor. One who held back. I'll save some for later, he thinks. A very modern, very reasonable thought. And back then, a very fatal one. Because while he rationed his honey, winter didn't ration its cold. Less fat stored meant less fuel to survive the freeze. Ancestors who paced themselves, who ate in moderation, simply left fewer children behind. Meanwhile, the ones who binged, who gorged without guilt, survived the winter and had children of their own. And those children inherited the exact same wiring, generation after generation, for 100,000 years. This is natural selection. And it does not care about your waistline. It only cares about one thing: who survives to pass on their gene. And for 100 millennia, sugar lovers won every single time. This wired a very specific message deep into the human brain: sweet equals survival. No exception, not a preference, not a craving you can just choose to ignore. A survival directive carved in by 100,000 years of winters. And that directive didn't disappear. It's still running, right now, in you. Let's slow down and actually look inside the machine. This pathway has a name: the mesolimbic dopamine pathway. It runs from deep in the midbrain to the reward center up front. Its entire job? Detect anything that helps you survive and reward it hard. Food, water, safety, sex. All wired straight into this one circuit. But sugar hits this circuit harder than almost anything else. Why? Because sugar meant instant, concentrated, ready-to-use energy. No digestion marathon, no waiting. Just fuel immediately. For a brain built to avoid starvation, that's basically magic. So every time sugar hit the tongue, dopamine surged. And dopamine isn't really the pleasure chemical people think it is. It's the pay attention, do this again chemical. It's your brain's system for building unbreakable habits. Do this. Remember exactly where. Do it again as soon as possible. That's not a bug. That's a survival algorithm running perfectly. There's a name for this evolutionary strategy: the thrifty gene hypothesis. The idea: humans evolved genes that hoard calories with ruthless efficiency. Because for most of human history, calories were never guaranteed. Bodies that stored fat efficiently outlasted famine after famine. Bodies that burned through calories carelessly simply didn't. So the thrifty genes spread, generation after generation. Today, nearly all of us carry some version of this thrifty wiring. It's not a flaw unique to some people. It's baseline human biology. Fructose, the sugar in fruit, and now in nearly everything, makes this worse. It's processed almost entirely by the liver, and the liver has one very old instruction for excess fructose: convert it to fat. Store it. Save it for the famine ahead. This process is called lipogenesis. In the Pleistocene, this was brilliant engineering. A famine was always just weeks away, so converting rare sugar into stored fat kept people alive. The craving, the dopamine spike, the fat storage. All one system, a single, elegant survival machine, tuned by 100,000 years of scarcity. And somewhere in that process, sugar stopped being just a flavor. It became a chemical synonym for one single word. That equation got locked into the human brain, deep and permanent, not written in ink, written in DNA, passed down, unedited, for thousands of generations, all the way down to one very specific, very modern brain. Yours. Snap back to today, 2026. The ancient instinct is still fully installed. Same thrifty genes, same dopamine circuit, same hunger for sugar. But look at what actually changed around him. The famine is gone. The scarcity is gone. The seasonal beehive has been replaced by a 24-hour gas station. Sugar used to appear a few days a year if you were lucky. Now it's available in every direction, every hour, every day. This is what scientists call an evolutionary mismatch. A biological system built for one environment suddenly dropped into a completely different one. The wiring didn't get the memo that the world changed. As far as your dopamine system is concerned, it's still 100,000 years ago. Every donut still registers as an emergency calorie opportunity. Your brain genuinely believes this might be the last easy meal before a famine. So it screams, "Eat it. Eat all of it. Right now." The exact same scream that once saved your ancestor's life. Except now, there's no famine waiting on the other side. There's just another donut, and another gas station, and another aisle. The feature that once kept humans alive is now quietly working against them. This mismatch is a major driver behind rising obesity rates, and type 2 diabetes, and metabolic disease worldwide. None of this means you're weak or lazy or lacking discipline. It means you're running Ice Age software on a supermarket-era world, and no update has ever been installed. Understanding that is the first real step. Not to fight your brain, but to finally understand what it's actually trying to do. It's not trying to hurt you. It's still trying to save you from a winter that isn't coming. So next time it's 2 a.m. and your hand is already reaching for the candy drawer, remember, that's not a lack of willpower. That's a 100,000-year-old survival instinct still on the clock. Your inner caveman, still bracing for a winter that ended 10,000 years ago, desperately trying to save you from a famine that simply isn't coming. He means well. He just never got the memo about supermarkets, so go easy on yourself. You're not broken. You're just ancient. If your inner Neanderthal also has a serious sweet tooth, hit like. He'll take it as a personal survival win. And subscribe for more truths your brain has been hiding from you since the Ice Age.